let's go. Welcome to Talking Trophies. As you know, season 2 has come to an end. But because we love providing you with content, we had to start up with a little bonus clip. So we're doing podcasts, sitting down with our friends, and also doing air raid as well. So we're going to come back with that. But before we get into the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Like, literally subscribe. Like, just stop right now. You press the subscribe button. All right, now let's start. But listen, we need the support, we need that motivation at the end of the day. We know you like watching it, but we need to see the support so you can motivate us a little bit more. Today, we got a special guest. He's a cousin of mine. He's been a family member for a while, close friend as well, I'd say. We got your boy, Ahmed, my cousin Ahmed, or also Slimy Seeker.
Hey, what's going on, everyone?
Yeah, thanks for coming on board, man. You hit me up with an idea. February? You're like, this would be a good topic to do, and I'm like, bro, I'm keen for it. We got it going today. So like, if you do have any ideas, you just want to have on Talking Trophies, just hit me up, hit Damien up, hit Shine up. We can get something going. We can talk about whatever you want. If you have a good topic, interesting topic we can talk about, we'll do it and we'll just have fun with it. You know what I mean? This is an open platform for anyone to jump on. It's just, you just got to show a bit of initiative. That's the word. You know what I mean? Ahmed showed initiative. He's into the show. He's been supporting us he's been on air raid as well. So when he came to us with the idea, we're like, okay, it's probably going to go through. So today's topic is...
it's basically masculinity.
Yeah, so we're having a discussion not too long ago, me and Ahmed, and then we're like, this is an interesting topic. If you want to, let's do a podcast on it. So we're doing it today. Before we jump into the video, if you look down on the comment section right now, we made this video so much easier. So obviously we're going to go through a bunch of topics. Just to make it easier for you, if you look at the comment section, there's minutes and it shows which topic we're talking about. So for example, from 2 minutes to like 5 minutes, it might be one topic. So if you look down on the comment section, you'll see each topic going through. If you find one topic interesting and you want to just jump over to that, just press on that link and then we can go through it. So let's jump into it anyways. I don't know, the first question I'd probably say is, when you think of the idea of masculinity, I'd say, I saw a video about it. What's a man? What do you define as a man? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So what's your, when you think of a man, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Maybe even one word, a sentence, what is it?
I think it's someone who is responsible, who can hold it down for his family, hold it down for the people around him, but at the same time, there needs to be an understanding that at the end of the day, he is a human being with feelings and thoughts, and he processes things the way he processes things.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
I think that's what's lost in today's society.
With that, like how you're saying, he holds it down for his family and stuff.
Yeah.
And for example, when you were younger, what was your idea of a man? Like now that you're in your youth, so you're like 24 years old.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing that comes to you now. But like when you were younger, what was your idea of a man? Like just as a youngster.
Well, growing up, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Looking up to my dad and family members, they're all first generation. So they're all just straight, no emotions, no feelings. You ask them if they're okay, they're always going to say they're okay. They're never going to open up to you, to their wives, to anyone.
Yeah.
It's just always keeping it pushing. But it takes a toll on you and it catches up to you as you age.
Yeah, that's true. But so with that, your first generation Australian. And then you're starting to see, I don't know, as you're coming up now, you're starting to see people are talking about emotions, feelings, things that are not common to us. They're very foreign to us.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the idea of showing emotion, I would have been like, yeah, that's not something I would do. You know what I mean? Since I was young and I was taught be a man, or step up, or don't cry. So with that idea, how does it feel implementing that into your household now? Like for example, do you talk to your father about your emotions and stuff, or is it something you're like, okay, this is how he feels about it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I've tried to in the past talk to him about stuff, just never really worked out because it just his upbringing and how he's lived his whole life. So it's just more so for us and the upcoming generation, just understanding that we go through things and it's okay to show emotions. But at the end of the day, you are the man, and you still have to hold it down. Like, showing emotions does not change who you are as a person.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you at your core.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
What are your thoughts on it?
Bro, with me, to be honest, man, I feel like, yeah, I understand showing emotion. I'm definitely for it.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I'm more, when it comes to emotions, I'm more reserved.
Yeah.
Unless it's like to a point where I'm like, yo, this is getting to me. I'll go tell someone. I'm like, yo, I'm feeling like this. I'll tell a family or a friend or something. I would be like, yo, I'm going through a rough patch right now. You know what I mean? But in general, man, like there's times where like work's getting to me, uni's getting to me, you know, just general life pressures that our Western world or first world problems, you'd call them. Bro, to be honest, I'd go to a park, you know, local park, bro, that hill. Bro, I'd go there, I'll sit down there for like 30 minutes, just look at the city view. I'll just be like, okay, what went wrong in the last month? I'll just reflect to myself, and you know, I'll hold that emotion back. For example, me, like I'm not someone that cries or something like that out in front of people, you know. 100%. I try holding my emotion back. I'll go there, reflect. I'll be like, okay, what did I do wrong? How am I feeling? Why am I feeling like this? And I move, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I see a lot of, like, especially in my area, from a young age, I see boys, like, they let their emotions out, like, physically, like, through violence. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, man, I was just taught from a young age, just hold yourself, you know, hold your character, show emotion how you can, but, like,
at the end of the day, you gotta...
I feel like your mom was like, very good, like, your mom's always been, like, strong, like, not so much emotion and calm collected, you know?
Yeah, I think it's both.
Yeah.
Both my mom and dad. I think that's where I got it from. That were like, be calm and collected. You know what I mean? I think personally, there probably one time I seen my mom like show emotion, bro. I think when my grandpa passed away. Yeah. And I came in the house, you know, and I'm like, and I saw my mom. She was just like by herself. I'm like, hey, mom, you alright? You know, I was telling her, I'm like, you alright? And she's telling me, she's like, oh, she was a bit down, you know. And that's probably like the first time I seen her. Yeah. Like show emotion, and but she didn't go out. Like, you know, when you go to, like, for example, especially Eritreans, bro, if you're Eritreans, you know this. Yeah. You just go to the, what's it called? What is it called? The Azza.
Oh, the Azza, yeah.
Bro, these people, you know, when the person, for example, when you, let's just say, someone passes away, your relative passes away, people are coming to visit you, and you're in an emotion, like, especially I see it with the lady and stuff. Yeah. The lady, like, someone passed away in your family, you're trying to hold your emotion, you're thinking about, you're processing what happened. Bro, they just come in the room, and then they just like, the ladies come in and they start crying, and it gets a toll on you, and then they're telling you to cry, let your emotion out, and then you start crying. And it's just like, I don't know, man, like I feel like that.
It's an ugly way of mourning, bro.
It's not a good way of mourning.
This is the thing with the emotion. It's always to an extent, you know. There's always levels to this shit. So it's more so, as a man, you can't let your emotions hold you back from what you need to do. It's not an excuse for you to just kick back. Like, life pressures. So for me, when I go through life pressures, I go to the gym, I work out, I let out everything in there, you know. You always have to keep progressing, keep pushing forward. But what people need to understand is more so that it's okay to feel something if someone passes away, or it's okay to express something when it's getting tough. It's just more so that you need to express it and then understand what you're feeling and find a way to move forward, not to dwell on it.
Yeah. Because, if you think about it, the past isn't the only thing that's actually, like, real is the present. Yeah. The past is the past. It's happened. The future isn't going to happen until you create your future. Do you know what I mean? So, I think we jumped off the topic, bro, for what is a man. Yeah. Well, if you want to stay on that, we'll get back to that.
Yeah, we'll go back to that.
How do you feel like men should show emotion? Do you know what I mean? Then if you're saying, speaking about emotion, should men be emotional? Do you know what I mean? Do you feel like men should? There's this idea, I don't know, like I see it a lot, like especially in Western studies and studies from universities and stuff and articles. They talk about, like, you know, why aren't men emotional enough, or like why aren't they expressing themselves enough emotionally? Yeah. Do you agree with that, or do you feel like men should express themselves emotionally to an extent?
To an extent.
You know what I mean? What's your idea with that?
So, to an extent, it depends on the individual. Yeah. So, I can't sit here. You and I, we'll use you and I as an example, and Sean. We all go through things and process things differently because of how we've grown up. Yeah? So, if something happens to you, you might react in a more emotional way than if it was to happen to me or Sean. And same goes for Sean, same goes for me. So to that extent, it's more so that when you do show your emotions, it's to understand it, what you're going through. I think growing up, you really, because women have it more often, that they can control their emotions. They know what they're feeling. With us, because we haven't been able to express our emotions, it's kind of just bottle it up and get going, especially as a young African. It's more,
so you're thinking about something, you don't know, like you react to it in a situation in a certain way, but you don't know, you're not angry about that situation. You're angry about something that happened something 3 years ago or something like that.
And you don't know how to process it. You haven't been taught how to process it. It's just always bottle it in and keep it pushing. So I think it's more so men need to understand how to process their emotions in a healthy way, come to an understanding, learn how to express it if it needs to be expressed to their friends or to their partner or just whoever, and then learn how to move forward from that. Because you need to move forward. Time doesn't stop for you. Time doesn't stop for anyone. You know what I mean?
No matter who you are, the sun's gonna rise and set until the last day. Fine, that's true, man. On that, speaking on that, we'll jump over. Like, we'll think, if you're thinking about like how guys struggle to show their emotions and stuff. What are ways? For example, you said you go to the gym, or you go. Like, for example, you might do reading. Some people, I go to the local park and stuff. How do you know? Like, that's my thing to do it. That's my thing to, like, my therapy to, like, when I'm emotionally unstable at a time. How do you know that's your thing? How does someone get the idea? Like, how do you realize, I need to go to the gym? Let me show, like, cause I'm a man. I'm not gonna go around and start crying to everyone and stuff. The idea, I need to like let this emotion out some way. I need to let this anger, whatever I'm feeling. How do you know? Like, you're like, cause I need to go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know like I needed to go to the park until one day I was at the park. Cause normally we used to kick it there, the boys and stuff. But one day I was kicking with the boys, and I'm like, this is a Mickey spot to come to and just kick it, And I did it one summertime, and then I went to the top of the hill. I'm kicking it there, and I'm like, this is a vibe, bro. And then I'm like, that became my spot. You know what I mean? But like, what are other ways? Like, for example, someone could know, this is where I feel at peace.
Honestly, it's just trial and error. You gotta trial out different things, see what works for you. Some things might work better than others. Some things might just not work. There are obviously some paths you shouldn't take. You know what I mean? But for the most part, it's more so just trial and error and finding out what works for you. Could be going to the gym, could be going for a run. I know a lot of people that go for runs to let out their emotions. Could be going to walk in the park, could be going to get a haircut, could be doing just a range of different things. Just finding what
the
works
things he wasn't talking about. He's saying, don't do, you know what I mean? A lot of people try like letting themselves out with drugs. Some people like smoking loud, some people like popping pills. You know what I mean? Xannies is a good one if you're ever feeling down, A lot of people think Xannies is a good one to take. But, bro, Xannies, bro, I've seen it too much, man. It comes back and bites you, bro.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean, man? In the long term, bro, if you pop a Xan on a bad day, bro, you feel good for like the day. You go to sleep, have your 12 hours sleep as standard. But, bro, you just feel like the lowest person for the next, like, 2 days, man. I realize that one, if you're a thing, don't do that. And butt off too. Don't touch butt off too. Butt off, that one is gonna keep you tick.
That's that cold. That's the ice.
The ice. Butt off's ice.
That's cold.
Don't do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like with that, I'm telling you, man, I've lost way too many boys to it, man. Like, it's not even fun. Like, it's like we're growing. Like, you know what I mean, bro? You know the boys, bro. Like, you see them, bro. Like, you see what the pills, you see what the smoking done to them, bro. It's like now I'm 23. You know what I mean? Like, bro, I gotta start like thinking about what I want to do for the rest of my life.
100%.
And there's people my age that are like they're saying, I had a bad day. You know what I mean? So they're like, let me go smoke. Let me go pop a couple Xans, Vals, whatever. You know what I mean? And bro, you see it, man. Like 4 or 5 years. It's been like 8 years, maybe 8 years now since we've been like this trapping mentality, bro. And like I've seen it, bro. It's had a toll on people, man. People getting locked up now. People getting, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. So if you are, you know what I mean? If you are feeling down, go find a way to like do it. Maybe go for a run, just as Ahmed said, go for it. Even if you want to go swimming, whatever. Do you know what I mean? That's probably a good way to let the emotion go. But talking about find a hobby too. Yeah, talking trophy is a good hobby, bro. Well, hey, you know what I mean? Jump on, make a podcast, whatever. You know what I mean? Do something, you know?
Just get busy.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, bro. You know, when you're bored, bro. I've seen bored people do the weirdest stuff, man. It's just outside that camera. I think it's thing. But I was gonna say to you, with that,
I think it's gonna be a bit longer. I think it's gonna be a bit longer than 2 minutes.
No.
To ask you.
No, we're gonna go through it, bro. Don't worry, I'm vibing.
Yeah.
I told you once you start talking, I'm telling you, Kaz. Once you start talking,
I got a lot
Kaz,
of stuff to talk about.
you know what I mean. You start talking, bro. You're like,
So I want to ask you, what do you think a man is? I want to see what you say as well.
yeah, I want to talk a thing. It's not interview, Kazi. Don't worry about it. It's just talk your talk.
All, you know?
But what's called? I was gonna say right. You know what I mean? What's your idea, Kazi, of masculinity? And how the Western world perceive masculinity compared to, let's just say, I don't want to say, but like call it, but like developing or third world countries. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
What's your idea of that? Do you know what I mean? Like, and which one do you prefer in your eyes? Yeah.
In my eyes.
Yeah. Like from your experiencing living in an African household to seeing how, let's just say, the Western world or modern society view masculinity.
Yeah. So honestly, we're growing up, alhamdulillah, like we grew up very traditionally. So my dad was leader of the house, my mom was stay at home, but he never treated her like bad. They always, they had the ups and downs. That's every marriage. No marriage is perfect, but it never got to a really bad point. But the thing is that I've seen and I've heard of stories where it's gone south for the wife, where the husband's treated the wife bad. You get what I mean? In traditional households.
Yeah.
So there's that extreme on the left, and then on the right, it's more so. Wait, that'll be the right. That's the right. Yeah. And then on the left, the Western side, I think they try to strip a lot of masculinity to where when it doesn't make individuals feel good, they kind of say, "Oh, it's toxic," whereas it still needs to be there. You know what I mean? There still needs to be that sense of the man, regardless if you like it or not. Look, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a man. You're a man. We do men things, yeah. We do men things.
It's genetics too. So
it's not even genetics. It's just biology. Like we are both created. It's not to take away anything from the women. Women are amazing, yeah. But the men are created to do something. The women are created to do something. We come together, and we work together. It's not me versus you, men versus women. And I think that's what the Western does a lot.
So that's like the far left where it's like, let's think. So and then on the right, like where it's like the males, the dominant one, yeah. Yeah, okay. And where do you see sits in the middle? It's like, what's your idea of that?
To be honest, for me, it's more so finding the balance of being the man, but also being reasonable. You have to be reasonable. You can't. It's not everything your way. You have other people that are involved in your life. You have another individual as your partner. Then you have your kids. So it's not always just your way. And I think that's where the ego of the man, it gets involved, where you think you're always right, you know what's best. Sometimes you think you know what's best, it's not what's best.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it?
Bro, to be honest, man, I feel like I believe men are capable of doing things, and there's things that women are capable of doing that men can't do.
That we can't do,
You know what I mean? I definitely feel like that. And but what I also believe is like, women can do whatever they want. Yeah. To an like for example, but like this physical stuff like they won't be able to do that's harmful. For example, like that men can do. You know what I mean? Like realistically, we have to talk but we don't even need that anymore because of technology. So women can do whatever man can do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So with that, I personally say that when it comes to being the man of the house, man, it's not about this idea. I think it's more culture. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like the men, they overlook whatever their partners say and stuff. But like with me growing in my household, it was very balanced. How seeing my dad and my mom talk, and that's how it became. Like with me, even whenever I speak with like women and stuff, I'm able to like. I think I got that from my household, like that characteristic where I don't be like, oh, okay, I'll hear a girl talk and then I'll be like, you know what I mean? Where like I shut them off very quick. Yeah. Whereas I see guys that like grew up in that household where like I could tell their parents was like their dad was the dominant father, where they're very quick to like shut off, for example, someone from the opposite gender. So I feel like it's a balance, and it definitely comes from the parents, man. Like if you're growing up in a household where there's a balance between your dad and your mom, and they're able to speak to each other. They understand each other very well. You know, they know their flaws, they know their strengths. It definitely creates a great balance, and then that reflects onto your children and how your children speak. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, with that, man, I'd probably say I'm like I believe in like saying like you accept your partner for who she is. You know what I mean? You fell in love with her, and from the first, you just remember when you're like 5, 10, 20 years into the marriage or relationship, you just gotta realize like, yo, why did I fall in love with this person? You know what I mean? Did I fall in love with her because of her brains and how she was talking to me? Did I just fall in love with her for her looks? Or you know what I mean?
100%.
So I'd say with that. But with that, bro, what about toxic masculinity, bro? What are your thoughts on that, bro?
Well, we could be here for hours talking about toxic masculinity. Bro, there's a lot.
What's toxic masculinity to you, cuz? Do you know what I mean?
To me,
what's your idea of it?
I think it's
actually, you know what, Sean? Go on Google, cuz. Suss out.
Yeah, suss it
go
out.
define. Go write.
Suss it out, yeah.
Yeah, go and read that out, bro. What do they say about that?
Toxic masculinity, a set of attitudes and ways of behaving stereotypically associated with or expected of men, regarded as having a negative impact on men and on society as a whole.
Okay.
Bro, if you look at that, man, you know what it is? You know what toxic masculinity is? From just that, that's what caused World War I, World War II. Toxic masculinity is what causes wars, bro. It's egos.
It's ego.
It's a belief that you're superior to someone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And the thing is, it's not even the women. I think even like toxic masculinity is what causes rape. You know, the rape culture, that's toxic masculinity, bro. Because if you think back at it, even it was a war tactic. Back in the days, a war tactic was like, if you hear stories about war, what do when they come in?
The
first thing they
go
do,
straight for the children and the women.
Because firstly, you know what that does as well? Rape is, obviously it's a sensitive topic, but what I'd say is like, in that time, I was reading something about wars, and the reason why they rape the women is such an evil, bro. Because what they do is when they rape the women, they destroy the men of that area. What they do is that crushes, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, after that happens, the men become depressed because they weren't able to protect their women at the time from being raped by these foreign, like, what happened in when Japan invaded China, bro. What they used to do was they dig holes and just they'd kill the men. But what they used to do was they used to rape the women first. So once they took over the area, they won't kill the men first. Once they got control of everyone, no one's gonna fight them back. They rape the women. Why? Because they just want to mine stuff, like play with these guys' mind, bro. You know how much it destroys that, like, a man's ego. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what they used to do. That's why such
the relationship afterwards. Let's say like she's a survivor, like the guy could look at his girl or whatever and like, you know, like could even have like no resentment towards her, but like
it's a subconscious thing.
The other way too, because like he couldn't protect her.
He couldn't protect her. She's gonna look at him and she's gonna be like, how'd you let this happen to me?
Which isn't wrong. It's fair enough because you know that's your job as a man.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, with China and stuff, how they did that happened to Chinese. They were depressed.
This Japan coming into thing, or was
Japan
it the Mongols?
Not the Mongols. Japan.
The Mongols were different.
The Mongols were ruthless, bro.
Yeah,
Those guys. Yeah, they were crazy. But anyways, bro, what are you thinking about toxic masculinity?
Yeah, I think it's a lot more of what you said. It's just more so the male ego, and it not being. It's more so you doing things, not being sympathetic, empathetic to the consequences of it. Thinking it's you that's right, and it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, and not thinking about the consequences.
But how do you think it develops? Do you know what I mean? Where does that idea come from?
The idea of toxic masculinity. I reckon it builds up over time. To be honest, I think it starts off very small, and it starts off probably by just you being younger, you making choices, no one telling you you're wrong.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, like there needs to be. This is where the ego comes in. I've realized is that a lot of the times, a lot of toxic thing comes in because no one tells you you're wrong. No one sits you down and explains to you that what you're doing is wrong. So in your mind, you develop a mindset that you're always right.
Yeah.
When you're not. No one is ever right 100% of the time. We don't live
We're
in
humans.
we don't live in this idealistic world where everything's 100%, everything's, you know, 50,
Everyone makes
yeah,
mistakes. Everyone has different life experiences and stuff.
100%.
But definitely, bro. You know what I feel like with that too, you know what you need to do is you need to go see other people, man. You gotta start like from a young age. I've always been around like a multicultural environment. You know what I mean? So I've always like was aware of like, okay, this guy doesn't believe in what I believe. Do you know what I'm saying? But like, if you're surrounded by people that have the same ideology as you, maybe the same faith or they're the same race, you start developing that idea. Do you know what I mean?
I have a question for you, actually, man. What do you think is missing from men in today's day and age? Why is men so lost?
I think it's self-worth, man.
Yeah.
We don't know our worth, like, bro, especially now with social media, bro. It's like everyone wants to be like, you go on social media, bro, you go on Instagram, bro, you're seeing kids 23 years old, like, for $4 or $5 million. Do you know what I mean? 18 years old, I'm already starting a business. Bro, guys don't know what they want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And all guys are doing it because social media does it so hard. Everyone's competing with each other. Like, it's like, bro, I'm 25 years old, and I'm like, maybe some people here, like, they peak at 40, man.
Yeah.
45. People, do you know what I mean? Like, some people start their lives then. We don't realize that, like, bro, life's long, bro. But we have this idea, like, yo, I gotta have my first house. I gotta put a deposit in my house. Like, I gotta start my family by this. It's like this idea that, like, if everyone's doing it like this, I have to do it like this. But it's on steroids now because we're on social media. That's what I feel like. I feel like guys don't know their worth. And what happens with that is you find we don't have many men, bro. We got a lot of males, but we don't have enough men. Do you know what I mean? Because there is a difference between being a male and being a man.
Probably lack of purpose.
What do you mean by that?
Like, there's obviously spiritual purpose, but what is your life purpose? Like, what is it that you want to do while you're here? Like your career path, who you want to be, what you want to be.
I know what you mean, bro. I see a lot too with like guys, for example, that jump on faith and stuff. They start becoming spiritual. They have this idea, like, it's like, I'm gonna only work for this afterlife of mine, and I'm not gonna, like, and it's like, and people that, like, for example, that are working or doing this, they're like, bro, why do they only focus on this life? We're not here for long, for example. Do you know what I mean? But bro, you gotta have like a reason why you're here too. How are you gonna influence this world? You know what I mean? Whether it is even increasing, like, for example, even if you're on faith, for example, improving somewhat, like, for example, improving the people around you, or spreading knowledge to generations, rather than just saying, oh, I'm only here for things, and just focusing on yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So I definitely agree with that, man. What was I gonna say to you? I forgot. It was about
Hey, shout out Vitamin K real quick. Shout out Vitamin K.
Vitamin K's in the building. I'm saying the camera's not looking at you, bro. And
Hey, come through, man.
What was I gonna say to you? Huh?
Hey, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, we're talking about the parents, bro.
Okay.
What do you feel? Why do you feel that? What's the importance of a father? Do you know what I mean? Like, because we're talking about how guys develop toxic masculinity. I was getting it wrong, other way around. But why do you feel like a father's important then? You know what I mean? You've had your father around for your life. Yeah. I've had mine. You know what I mean? You know, we got an idea of what our fathers, how to be a father from our dads. You know, and it's gonna influence us definitely. But I'm saying, like, I know it's gonna have an influence on how I am as a father. Yeah, you can't control it. Like, you just see it. So how do you feel like? What's the importance of a father? And how do you feel? What are the harms, let's just say, of growing up in a single parent family, despite it not being in the person's control? But like, what are the outcomes of that?
Yeah, I think it definitely affects the individual, bro. Like you said, it's a sense of direction. Subconsciously, you look up to your father. He's, you know, the father figure of the household. He makes the big decisions. You kind of follow his lead. Yeah. So when that's not lacking, it's more so it's not lost, but it's just, I've seen a lot of people who haven't been around their father figures, and they're kind of everywhere. It's not to say for everyone, but for a lot of people, they're everywhere. They're very lost.
Me, bro, personally, Kaz, I'll be honest with you, I agree with that. the idea that you need your father around, especially for guys. That's where it's very important for guys, but it's also important for girls as well. I'm saying, because with guys, it teaches them, okay, this is my idea of what a man is. How this whole topic is, what is a man? My idea of what a man is comes from my father, to an extent, not completely, but like it comes from my father to an extent. Yeah. So with that, having a father around, it teaches discipline. I feel like that's a factor that needs to be like. I reckon that's something that's important. Discipline, like the father does discipline the son. Do you know what I mean? Like, it teaches him this is right and this is wrong, and that destroys toxic masculinity as well, because you have someone telling you you're wrong. You have that male figure in your life telling you that's wrong. Do you know what I mean? So, secondly, I'd also say, it also shows you how to treat women, having a father figure around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
An example of me was like when I was a kid, like my parents, like for example, my dad never really raised his voice at my mother. I've rarely like screams at her, like, or going off. Do you know what I mean? So me in my life situation, there's times where like girls would, like, for example, like some girls would like just go off at me. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I'll be like, I want to say something loud, like I want to like go off at them, but I'm like in my head, because I'm like, my dad never really screamed at my mom. Do you know what I mean? Like subconsciously, I'm just like, okay, and I just walk off like.
And you realize some people see you as weak for that.
Yeah.
You realize that they actually view you.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. Yeah. But like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? That's their idea of weak. Yeah. But because of that idea, like, so maybe I'm hoping it's something that it's a good attribute for my father that I hope I get. Is like, I'm not gonna go screaming at my wife and calling her, just names and stuff. And that's one feature, like for example, of having a father around. Do you know what I mean? But there is, there is the issue where you have dads that are around, but they're going kicking it at cafes the whole night. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like, how, especially with us Africans, bro, this is the lowest feature of African dads. Allah was. Nah, lie down. I need to watch that one. Yeah, I saw the meme of it. The one where they drive around and they chuck on his lecture. But like, it's true. Like, you know what I mean? When if like, let's just say you do have your dad, he lives with you, but he's never at home. So you're gonna get that feature, and you're gonna start doing that as well. Do you know what I mean? And then with girls, having a father shows them what standard to have with men. You gotta think of it like that. That's what I've seen as, like, if you see your dad treating your mom good, you're not gonna let no guy, no matter who they are, treat you like crap. 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna be like, if my dad's treating my mom like a queen, I gotta be treated like a queen too. And that's where you get your standards from. So yeah, I'd probably say that's the importance of a father around. And also, you need that discipline too. Allah, you know what I'm talking about, Khalid?
We can't get into the details.
We can't get into the details, Khalid. You want to
certain equipment. Yeah.
You need the scary eyes, bro. You need that discipline just to keep you in check.
You need the belt.
The belt.
The
belt too, guys, bro. I'm telling you, bro. But the thing is, man, people saying, like, it's a bad feature and stuff. But bro, it taught me, like, cause if it wasn't for that, bro, I would have been way worse, bro. Cause I remember
I'd be lost, bro.
We used to go to, on the way to school. This is back in year 7. We'd go to school every morning. I'm not talking about once a week, once a month. Every morning, cause before we catch the school bus, we'll go to the mukba. The boys will go to the mukba. We'll jump off the tram, just to stop after the tram stop to get off the thing. We'll go to the mukba. And when I tell you, these guys gank half the shop, it was a daily thing, cause it got to a point where the boys, wallah, I'm not lying to you. The counter's here. You're the store owner. They'll open the donut thing. They'll pick a donut out, put it in a bag, put the donut down, and walk out, cuz. Like, it became that point. But bro, I never, ever in my life stole one thing from them. Never. You know why? Cause I remember my dad, cause he used to come to me one day and he'll be like to me, I'm working the worst jobs for you. So if you need money, ask me. But if you want to go ask people for money, you want to go steal, don't come to this house again. I'm like, what? And as a kid, I'm like, yo, what the hell, But bro, every time I'm seeing my boys ganking and stuff, I never ganked cuz. Like, I didn't know why, but I know, like, obviously, I realized subconsciously. I'm like, cuz, I'm not ganking, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, like, cuz, I know you had some experiences like that, cuz.
Yeah, 100%.
Tell me one, give us one example.
Because we say, alhamdulillah, there's Wi-Fi, brother. The windows go
Nah, just anything really. Just even coming home late. I used to call beltings for coming home late from school. Like sometimes, you know, after school you want to kick it with your mates. I'd go kick it with my mates, and I used to call beltings till I sleep. You know, the ones where you go.
The ones where you go, you cry, you wake up the next.
Cry to sleep, yeah.
But cuz, that was the best sleep. Cuz, I used to sit down, cuz.
Nah, you used to get in your bed, yeah.
Yeah, in my bed. I'm in bed. I'm in bed. I'm lying down in bed.
Yeah.
I don't wanna. Wallah, wake up fresh. Naruto's on TV, cuz. I'll go watch Toaster TV, cuz.
Yeah.
But you know, I love cuz. My brother always, like, whenever I have those cries, cuz, my brother always check on me next day. It's like, cuz, he's like, broski, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good, cuz. I had that.
Yeah.
Hold it down for another 5 minutes, guys.
Yeah, let him finish up. So yeah, basically, I used to cop that, and what that told me, basically, it just told me stay off the streets.
Bro, but even that, bro, like, we looked at that time, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, it took me a while to, like, be at peace with, like, yo, why my dad doing this thing? Like, cuz, I used to
As
think,
you grow older, yeah.
yeah, like, I used to think, cuz, like, at that time, I'm like, bro, why does my dad, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, why is my dad so strict for this, that? Like, in my head, I'm thinking that, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, does my dad hate me or something? You know, you get
funny
those
story.
thoughts.
I called the ops on my grandma. On my grandpa. On my grandpa. Just the thing. I called the ops on him.
No way.
Yeah, because he beat me. And I was like, this is child abuse. I called the cops.
And then?
they actually rocked up.
And
this
then?
is back South Melbourne flats.
Oh.
They rocked up and everything.
What the hell, cuz? What are you going best after
I
that?
was like 6, yeah?
Yeah.
And I hid under the bed until the cops came.
Mm.
And when they came, they were looking for me everywhere.
Yeah.
I was under the bed. It's a bad look, yeah? Imagine I'm calling the cops saying I got beat up and I'm hiding under the bed when they rock up.
And then?
And they questioned me and everything. Yeah, because I remember that week I got taught at school like child abuse. Say no, you know how it is. And yeah, they came and they questioned me, questioned my grandpa and my grandma. Everything was good. They legged it. And then my grandpa, I'll call my dad.
Oh.
My dad was at work. He came from work from Moorabbin down southeast to South Melbourne. And I don't want to talk about the rest, but I slept good.
That one is slept good after that one.
I was in a good sleep.
I got a mind story of that because when I went to school, I remember from the start, I'll never forget the story. A Somali kid, he goes to me, he went to Somalia for the first time. He went to Somalia for the first time, and he went to his grandpa's city. And he told me he met his grandpa for the first time in his life, you know. Just met his grandpa, Assalamu alaikum, I'm your grandpa, whatever. They got to meet him, and then they showed him his room, you know, in the house. They live in the compound.
Yeah.
Showed him his house in the compound. And Africa, cuz, there's big walls, and everyone throws rocks over the wall, you know.
Yeah.
So someone's throwing rocks, you gotta throw a rock back, cuz, you know. The kids fight like that. So he goes to me, I'm sleeping in my room, and I go out, and these kids are throwing rocks. So me, I'm thinking, fine, I'm gonna throw a rock back. I grab a rock, I piff it, I throw a rock. And then I just hear someone go, it's like a grown man yelling, in pain. And then someone knocking the door like, gah, someone's knocking on the door. He's knocking on the door and then looks from the wall. He sees a guy, a grown ass man. He's bleeding from his head. He got a cut in his head and he's bleeding.
From the guy hitting him?
Because he threw a rock.
Yeah, the guy threw the rock.
The guy walking across the street, you know?
Fuck.
The guy came to the house, knocked on the door, and his grandpa came to open it. He goes to me, bro, I left in my room. And he goes, imagine, I just met my grandpa for only 10 minutes. This guy comes and beating me.
Guys, that's how they do it, guys.
I didn't met my grandpa for 10 minutes. First time I met my grandpa.
Well, it's normal, but
It's normal, but
hey, I'm telling you, the grandpa in his head, he's thinking like, it's normal what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even doing it at a thing, guys.
Yeah.
But bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even that, how we have that. Let's just say I got friends that their parents never touched them in their life, and how they turn out too.
Ooh.
Do you know what I mean?
It's gone both ways, but there are some that turn out alright.
So some turn out alright, and those ones, like for example, the ones that don't get hit by their parents, you know, their parents tell them off, and then they'll have a little discussion with them, go to timeout, whatever. Some of them come out as like, I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
People, they're really hard-headed. Like, I have friends that are so hard-headed to talk to, like, because their parents never. I'm like, cuz, you should have got bashed by your parents a couple of times. Cuz. Like, I'm just looking at them. I'm like, cuz, you needed to get a little whipping. You know what I mean? And then so I got them that are really hard-headed. But then I got like friends that obviously they never got hit by their parents, but like they're just so open to like life and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're open to like having discussions, because what their parents used to do, they never used to hit him, but they'd sit him down and they discuss with them. So yeah, they got understanding of like, okay, I was wrong. Since then, that young age, like, I was wrong. This is why I was wrong. I didn't need to get hit for it, but I turned, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, this is the issue, and that's why I got.
That's the healthy way to go about
That's a very healthy way to go about it. But some people, they don't listen. They're like, oh, their parents be like, I'm not gonna hit you, but you did this, and then they say go to timeout. And then
what's timeout?
Timeout. They sit down in their room. They go kick back, play PlayStation, whatever, and then they're like, I had fun. Do you know what I mean? They didn't learn nothing from it. But then I got friends that used to get bashed. I'm talking bashed by their parents, discipline, belt, whatever. But Kazi, these guys turned out to be rageous, Kazi. Yeah. You know when you go to the mosh pit, Kaz?
Yeah, one sec. Nigga, didn't you get hit by the sword or the knife? Was it you that was with the knife?
Kaz, brother. If we talk about you, it's gonna be a straight case, Kaz.
Yeah, cops.
That one, the look stick is dangerous. I know that one. Don't worry, the look stick, I know about that, but Kaz, with that, what was I saying? Bro, they turn out outrageous, Kaz. You know when you go to the mosh pit, when you go to a Travis Scott concert or whatever, you know those Davies that are actually like throwing swings in the mosh pit.
Yeah, they don't have any boundaries. Like, they don't give a
like
fuck.
they go on them. They're doing this, Kaz. They go in the middle of the circle. They do this. Those are the ones that got bashed by their parents, Kaz. Hard, because they were angry. They're angry, Kaz. But
do you remember that kid at Rolling Loud that got knocked out?
Oh, cuz that was bad, bro. I remember that. And Sean, you can gap. Khalid, check on the headphones. No, you're using this camera now. We're gonna talk through this. But what was I gonna say to you before we wrap up, bro? I was gonna say
Just press that button, bro. Hey, Vitamin K in the building. Take care.
Hey man, I'm telling him because we're gonna bring Sarah, because Sarah loves this kind of topics, bro.
Yeah, I reckon we should bring, you know,
Sarah.
Another.
Nah, this one definitely we should. You know, we should do. This is an ongoing topic, anyway. Close the door.
It's a big topic. You can't.
Yeah, so this is a good.
Session,
but the thing is, it's a good start. First video.
Yeah.
I'll move that back.
A lot more to talk about.
Yeah,
Too much.
but Kaz, I wanna ask you a question, bro.
Ask.
Kaz, this is a good question. You know, we're talking about masculinity. We're talking about being a man. We spoke about a lot about emotions at the start as well, Kaz.
Yeah.
My question is to you: should men cry? Do you know what I mean?
What's wrong with that? On some real shit.
Because I don't know, bro.
That's
Do you know what I mean? Like,
on some real shit. Why not?
Like, and how should they go about it? Showing their emotion.
Okay, so I want to give you an example. Yeah. God forbid, someone very, very close to you passes away. Very close to you. Is it okay for you to cry? Like, on some real shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, what's the question? Like, what's the question here that people ask?
You know what I mean, but this is just a topic, cuz. Come on, cuz.
I'm not coming at you.
Questions, cuz. You have,
I
have to ask the questions to keep the convo going, bro.
Yeah, I'm not coming at you. It's just more so.
I don't know. Like, I feel like it's about how you go about it too.
And it's
for
about
example,
in the context too.
Yeah, because there's people that do genuinely, like, I'm talking about, like, cry for, like, don't put it in there. Don't put it in there. That do genuinely cry, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like it gets to a point where it's like, bro, this guy is emotionally unstable. Like, not even man up. Yeah, true, but like, you know what I mean? Like, and how they go about it. For example, bro, with me, I don't cry. Like I'll give you my personal example. I'm not really a crier. You know what I mean? Yeah. Stuff hits me, and I'm just like, damn. I think about it. I'll go local park hill. I'll sit there, cause you know I might just get the little, you know what I'm talking about. But like, we move, cause you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then, like, for example, there's times in my life, like, for example, I think this is probably like the last time I ever actually cried. Like, I actually cried. But like, this was like an emotional, spiritual moment I had. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, and that's not something I'm ashamed of, guys. Like, that's a goal. Do you know what I mean? For the thing, like, I remember this is the time I cried. I remember I was in so we had to go Umrah. So we went to like Saudi Arabia. You go to Mecca and stuff. You do it's like a tradition. It's spiritual tradition, and but I wasn't at the time. You go Medina first.
Yeah.
So Medina is like Montreal is one of my favorite cities. This is my favorite city in the world. But spiritually, Medina was just something else. Like I didn't feel peace, bro. Like like you've never been there, yeah,
No.
and you haven't been there. But when you explain it to someone, you can't explain it like in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like they won't understand until they go there, and then when they go there, they're trying to explain to someone that hasn't been, and they're like, "Oh my god," you know what I mean? So this is the time I cried. I feel like it's opening up, but I was in Medina and I was praying. So I was there. It was like the last 10 days of Ramadan. It was the last 2 days I was in Medina before I go to Mecca. And then, bro, I was on the rooftop of the Prophet's Mosque, and cause they pimped that place out, brother. They got little umbrellas that come up when it's 40 degrees, this, that. And yeah, man, I was just there, bro. It was just the moment I made wudu, and then I'm praying. And cause when I'm praying, I was on the rooftop, and the weather was so perfect. Like there was a moment, it was just like a little, like I went to I zoned out of Earth for a moment. I don't know how to explain this. Like people when they take psychedelics, they try to get this feeling. This is the feeling they chase. So I zoned out like of Earth while I'm praying, like, but I was in the prayer, but like I was zoned out. And then, man, I'm just like there, and I was just praying, and I was making a prayer. They do the dua. And it just hit me like all at once that time while I was there. I'm like, bro, of all the people in the world, there's 1 billion Muslims in the world. I'm of the 1 million people that are here in the city. I'm blessed to be here. I had the best, like all this, like I was just so grateful at that time. And I'm like, I was asking, I'm like, why is God giving me this experience? I was saying, that's the first thing I was going through. I'm like, why am I, of all people, why am I here? And then I was like, and I was focusing, I was listening to the dua he was saying, and then I'm like, I was saying, thank you. And while he's making dua, I'm like grateful. I'm like, thank you, Allah, for this. And then, bro, out of nowhere, I don't know what it was, bro. It just kicked in, bro. I just started tearing up, bro. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm just tearing up, and I'm just tearing. And then it got to a point where I couldn't even control it, bro. And I'm just praying, bro. But like, cuz, I don't think I've ever felt, like, I felt my soul. Like, literally, I thought I felt angels around me. That's how, like, I was in it. Like, I was actually, like, in a zone. Like, I got to, like, a level of, like, piety, bro. Even, you know what I'm saying? Cuz, brothers were feeling, that amen. Cuz, I had that amen pack, cuz. Stuff for Allah. But, like, cuz, I was in a zone, cuz. And, yo. I was in a zone, bro, and I'm like, yo, I never felt this. But like after that, cuz, like I was blessed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that's like you can be happy and cry. You know what I mean? Like, and I personally, I believe men should cry, bro. But like that was like something else, bro. Yeah. That experience of crying.
I mean, look, it's okay to cry. Like I think it needs to be expressed a lot more. It's okay to cry, but it's just more so. As a man, you need to know what you're going to do next. You always have to look at moving forward, not to dwell. Because the moment you dwell is the moment you're going backwards and the moment you're behind. So it's okay to let out your emotions. Let them out in a healthy manner. Process them and push forward.
It was recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that, you know what I mean? We spoke about crying. What about as a man being fit, that physical factor? Do you know what I'm saying? The strength. What's your idea of strength as a man?
Honestly, physically?
Physically and even, I don't know, like there's strength verbally, man.
And
mentally too.
Yeah. I think every man needs to have either a sport or a hobby that they pursue. That teaches them mental discipline, because it's very hard to do something day in, day out, even on days when you don't want to do it. Work is different. You do work because you need to work. You need the money to survive. But then to have something like the gym or swimming or a sport like soccer, it builds discipline in someone. To where even on the days you don't feel like doing it, where you want to lie in bed, you still get your ass up and you go and you do what you need to do. And that builds mental toughness. It builds physical strength. You know what you're doing, what you need to do. Keeps you very grounded. What do you reckon?
You're right with that, man. You're completely right, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't disagree with nothing you said there, man. I'd probably agree with that. Um, even with, I feel like verbal strength is something we need to work on too.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
besides the physical stuff, bro. There's people like you will genuinely meet people that are, bro. They're weak. They're little. You know that, bro. I'll give you an example. Like Gandhi, bro. You'd look at Gandhi, you'd be like, who's this guy? But you know what I mean, like. With all like he's
With all
physical,
respect,
with all respect, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But once he opens his mouth, you're just like, yo, do you know what I'm saying? There's people like that in life, you know what I
Yeah,
mean. It's not
100%.
all about. I feel like physical strength will last until you're like 20, and then it's all about how you speak.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
No one judges you, like for example, no one judges you about your appearance. I was talking about my jalhat, you know. I was saying jalhat, this, that, you know, your appearance. But bro, there's people out there that they're genuinely their personality is them being 6'5". Dead set.
Yeah, I think of.
Do you know what I mean?
People, yeah.
They just their height is their personality. Yeah, I'm 6'5". Like for example, like that. But like once you start speaking to them, you're like, bro, this person's dead.
Yeah, you ask him like a question like, "What do you do for a living?" "Oh, I'm 6'5".
Yeah, bro.
Like, how are things? "I'm 6'5".
Yeah,
It's like, nigga, do you have anything else to speak about?
yeah, bro. It's just weird, man. Like that.
Oh.
There's people,
Is that word allowed to be on?
bro. You can say whatever you want on this thing, cause there's people out there that their appearance, their literally whole personality, is that they're 6'5", for example. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like once you're over, I feel like you're over 20 years old. It's all about how you speak.
No, I think appearances always matter. Appearances are your first impressions. It's always good to have a balance. Maintain your appearance. Keep like your appearance in thought, but more importantly than your appearance, it's your personality and your character as a person.
Yeah, especially nowadays, man. I don't know, like appearance is like the main emphasis part. Do you know what I'm saying? And you start to realize you're like, yo, that's why a lot of people are surrounded by fake friends and stuff, because it's all based on appearance.
100%.
We want to be in there. We want to look good. We want to look at our crew, glow up, squad.
Yeah.
And they're taking pictures, you know, everyone's wearing tuxedo, or the girls are all wearing fancy dresses, and every girl has to look perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or every guy has to look on point. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and bro, like, that's why we're losing. I feel like we're losing men, man. People are just hanging out with each other based on what? Appearance. Little stuff they can talk about. Do you know what I'm saying?
Very little, yeah.
Yeah, like, bro, you see people, for example, they'll hang out with their friends. What do they talk about, bro? I've kicked it with some people, and I'm like, Kazi, how are you friends, bro? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I have friends too. Like, I've kicked it with some people. All they talk about is girls, drugs. And I'm like, you see each other this many times in a week.
and
Is
it's
this
like,
all you talk about every day? Like, do you recycle the same content? Like, do you not delve deeper? Do you not have anything that you want to talk about besides drugs and tuckies?
That's the thing, bro. It's just, that's how it is. I feel like people, you know what it is, man? People don't want to lose their friendships, man.
Yeah.
People don't want to lose those friends. And that's why you find a lot of guys, especially, losing that verbal strength, you know what I mean? And that's, I feel like, factors that don't make us into man. Obviously, whatever we're saying right now is opinion based, you know what I mean? And from our life experience. But, it's
Don't take it personal.
And don't take it personal.
It's just our opinion. You have your own opinion. We have our own opinion on certain things.
Ahmed's coming out for the cancel culture people that want to come take us out.
Oh, they come out
Oh,
very
yeah.
quickly, especially on topics like this. Come out very quickly.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, man, that's an example of being men. You know what I mean? If you're unable to, even being women, unable to hear someone's opinion, and especially now we're in a society where it's like, yo, it's very everyone's very
open.
It's like everyone's very different, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And we gotta accept people for their differences. You know what I mean?
100%.
There's people that are out here, for example, if you look on the political spectrum, are considered far right. Some people consider far left. Some people considered right wing, left wing. Some people are in the middle. But everyone has different ideas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the perfect balance is finding the middle, where you listen to both sides and say, okay, this is the best way to approach something. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this idea that, okay, if someone doesn't agree with me, they're a racist or they're a communist, for example, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just,
Or they're misogynist.
or they're a misogynist, for example, like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, even like, you know, Jordan Peterson, he has topics about this stuff, and me, I don't agree with him for stuff he says. To be honest, I agree with a bit of what he says on stuff, but the idea that, like, people just label him, everything he says that he has his heading is, you know what I mean? He hates women. He's all about toxic masculinity. But bro, he's just saying his views. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like masculinity is an issue that needs to be discussed amongst guys
And women.
No. I'm saying guy. I didn't even finish what I was gonna say.
Oh,
Guy groups.
guy groups.
Yeah, like guys, you know, when they're hanging out with their friends and stuff, they need to talk about it. That's what I was gonna say, like how to be a man and stuff. But bro, you got anything else we can touch on before we wrap this up, or?
Not really, man. It was good being on here.
Yeah.
Shout out Talking Trophies.
Yeah.
Shout out my man Vitamin K over here in the corner.
Vitamin K.
Come say hello to the camera. Come on, man.
Nah, they don't want to see his
one
face,
time.
yeah.
One time for the one time. Yeah, he's a little shy.
Right, as camera shy. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it up to here, big ups to you. You know the vibes. If you like this, let us know what you think. You know, jump on the comment section. Tell me what a man is. Do you consider yourself a man, whether you are a guy? And what do you consider as a woman? Maybe that's something interesting we should talk about next time. You know, Talking Trophies, we talk about a bunch of stuff. You know, we go from talking to brasses on the streets to talking about serious matters. We generally don't care. Like, if you haven't realized this by now, we're just having fun. It's just our cousins, literally having fun. Anyone can jump onto this program. If you feel like you want to have a say, hit us up on our DMs, and you can jump on and talk about what you want to speak about. And yeah, jump on our page. You don't have your socials yet.
I don't have any socials.
He does. This guy, he's off the grid, but he's on that private thing, you know.
Yeah.
But make sure you do follow our page, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and let us know what you think. And we're going to be providing you with weekly content. We're going to do podcasts, and we're thinking about bringing Air Raid back, depending on what you want. So we're going to start. It's all up to you. We did this podcast because of you. 54%, I think, was the stat. Wanted the podcast. We're doing the podcast for you. You know what I mean? Let us know what you want, and we'll do it. Obviously, not some enough stuff. But besides that, we'll wrap up with Stay Humble Faith, and have a lovely night.